Well, hi everyone, and welcome to the Infinity Futures Daily Trading Room. My name is Raleigh White, and I'm here to talk to you about the trades we took in our live trading room on Tuesday, November 18th, 2014. Well, looking at today's economic calendar, you can see there were several things on tap that we needed to be aware of. At 7:30, we had the release of Producer Price Index data, which came out higher at 0.2% versus an estimate of a negative 0.1%. Then at 7:30, we also had Core Producer Price Index data, which came out higher at 0.4% versus an estimate of 0.2%. Then at 9 o'clock, we had the National Association of Home Builders Housing Market Index data released, which was higher at a value of 58 versus 55. Then at 12:30, we had FOMC member Kocher Lakota speaking, and at 3 o'clock this afternoon, we're due to have the release of the TIC long-term purchases. As far as today's pre-market sentiment was concerned, things were somewhat mixed coming into the open. Now, the Asian markets had closed mixed on a fall in China property values. Investors in Asia were cautious after China home prices in 70 cities dropped 2.6% on average from the prior year last October. The worst performing markets were in China, where the Hong Kong market closed down 1.1% and the Shanghai market closed down 0.7 of a point on a slip in the real estate sector on falling home values. On the flip side, though, the Japanese Nikkei closed up 2.2% after Prime Minister Abe announced that new elections will be held in the lower parliament and that he has delayed the implementation of the next level of the sales tax increase by 18 months in Japan. As far as the European markets are concerned, they were open but trending higher on upbeat German economic data. Now, the German ZEW economic sentiment ended up 11.5 in November at its highest level in 2014. Sentiment was further bolstered by the Japan snap elections and promise of further stimulus in the world's third largest economy, and October inflation data in UK inched up to 1.3% on the year versus last month's 5-year low. As far as the United States is concerned, Wall Street figured to open up mixed after a rise in producer prices. Now, the futures were flat coming into the open following the mixed global markets and after unexpected rise in the October producer price index. We also see that third quarter results are expected today from key companies like Home Depot, Dick's Sporting Goods, and Medtronic. And focus for many U.S. investors today would be on the house market index data, which was due out at 9 o'clock, the publication of the FOMC meeting minutes, which is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon, and then Thursday's consumer price index data that is due out. As far as trading activity is concerned today, folks, I attempted only 2 entries in very sluggish sideways moving markets, and I was filled on one of those in the E-mini Dow market. But before we look at that trade in any detail, I do need to remind everyone of this following important disclaimer, and that is that trading futures involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your circumstances, knowledge, and financial resources, as you may lose all or more of your initial investment. And always remember that past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Well, turning to the charts, let's begin here with the 30-year bond market. And you can see here right at the open of the trading session, we had 1, 2, 3 consecutive bars moving lower, followed by 1 bar retracing. And I was hoping the second bar here was going to retrace and move above the main pivot point and give me a short fill here at 141.22. But you can see the market never really took a move in my direction, moved away from me, so I had to take that trade out of the market. The other opportunity that I saw today was in the E-mini Dow market. And looking at the E-mini Dow market, we can see that we had 1, 2, 3, we had 4 bars moving higher. And when prices moved above the previous day's high, and we saw that the RSI was above 70, meaning that we had the green ball here, this was an indication that this market was getting ready to trend. So I decided to go ahead and wait for a retracement, which would have been that first bar that retraces where we lose the RSI over 70 indicator. So I was sitting here right on top the previous day's high with a long entry at 176.43. I was risking 8 ticks to make 8 ticks on this trade and felt excellent about this trade because my entry was right on top the previous day's high. I had nice protection between my entry and my stop loss. Well, the market came down and filled me and immediately moved against me. As a matter of fact, came within a couple of ticks of stopping me out before it started to inch back towards the previous day's high. When this happened, I just had this feeling that this market wasn't going to give me the up move I was looking for, so I decided to go ahead and take my profit target and move it to break even and see if I could get out with a scratch trade. Well, sure enough, the market did climb back above the previous day's high. It knocked me out at my break even point and then turned right around and moved against me. So this move on my part to get out with a scratch trade prevented me from an 8 tick loss. And folks, those were the only 2 trades that I had today. So we had one fill and one trade that I had to take off the market, and the fill that I did have was a scratch trade, and I'm looking very much forward to seeing what kind of opportunities might present themselves tomorrow. Well, looking at tomorrow's economic calendar, you can see we have a few key things that we need to pay attention to. At 7:30, we have the release of building permits, and we also have housing start data coming out. Then at 9:30, we have crude oil inventories, and then at 1 o'clock, we have the publication of the FOMC meeting minutes. So each one of these are key reports, and individually or collectively, they have the ability to move the markets, and I'm hoping that's going to give us some nice opportunities for some fills tomorrow. And with that, folks, thank you so much for watching today's daily video. I wish you a pleasant evening and look forward to speaking to you tomorrow.